Yes, yes, sir. Playing some blues. Was out there working in the fields, planting the spring harvest, and listening to blues music and having a great time. Got the idea that maybe I should go ahead and hurry up what I started on the scale thing. So, welcome to another episode of Dulcimerica. My name is Futch. Still don't have my second camera, so it's sky cam or bust, baby. Let's go back and take a look at a major scale and the relationship of notes, especially the A major scale starting at the 4th fret on the bass string. We're going to play our 4-fret box. Every single one of those notes has a number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those are the notes of the scale. We repeat the note we started with an octave above, the 8th note right there. Now, keeping that in mind, these are all, this is a diatonic scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When we're playing the A pentatonic major scale, we're only playing 5 notes, not 7. We're leaving out a couple. And you would play that like this. Those are the 5 notes. So we're playing the 1, the 2, the 3. We're not playing the 4, we're playing the 5 and the 6. And if you wanted to go up to the octave to round it out, you could go all the way up here and go ahead and play the 8. It's a very popular scale used for soloing and all kinds of other stuff. Now look at this in relationship to the pentatonic minor scale. Instead of playing the 1, the 2, the 3, the 5, and the 6, we are playing the 1, the flat 3rd. We're going down a half step. Remember, a flat means you take it down a half step. A sharp means you take it up a half step. So we're playing the 1, the flat 3rd. We're playing the 4, but instead of playing it up here, we're going to play it down here, the 3rd fret on the middle string. We're going to play the 5 and the flat 7. So it sounds like this. Sorry. Now let's take this a step further and talk about the pentatonic blues scale, which is going to add a flat 5th to the mix. And to get this note, you're going to have to bend a string, and that's very characteristic of blues music. So let's take a look at that. We're going to go 1, flat 3rd, 4. To get the flat 5, since the 5 is up here, we're going to have to bend the 4 up. Like that, then release it, hit your 5, your flat 7, and when you come back down again, careful, you got to bend the note first and then hit it. Then release it, keep it fretted to sound it, and then carry back over to the bass string. Yeah, that's starting to sound funky, isn't it? Lots of places on the fretboard where that scale is available to you, and it's just a really good thing to solo with. And when you solo, you're picking bits and pieces of that scale. You can play the scale straight, but it'll sound like you're playing a scale. So when you're playing over changes, you want to kind of pick bits and pieces of the scale. Which leads me now to talk more about the blues form. And the blues form, along with the scale, is sort of how we get into the vocabulary of the blues and what this music has meant, all the way from Africa into the cotton fields and into living rooms all over the place. So one thing I want to show you is the blues form, which is typically, not always, but typically in a 12-bar form or a 12-measure form. So let's show you an example here of one way to do it. We're going to start off with the blues in E. So the blues in E bar at the 1st fret, and we'll start off, we're going to play 3 bars of E. And then the last bar, we're going to make it an E7 chord. I'll show you how to do that. So we'll start off and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's your E7 chord. Basically, I'm just taking my finger off the melody string and letting that D ring out. So we have our first 4 measures, E, 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 E7. Now we're going to go to our second 4 measures, and we talked about 1, 4, 5 chord progressions. Chord progressions based on numbers, scale degrees of certain scales. So in the key of E, E would be the 1. The number 4 in the scale is A, and so that will be our next chord. So we'll lead off and do 2 measures of A. Just bar right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to go back to E for 1 measure, and then another measure with E7. Then our 5 in the chord progression, the 5th note of the scale is going to be B. We're going to play 1 measure of B, and then 1 measure of A, and then end with 1 measure of E, and then 1 measure of E7, which sounds like this. Whoa, what kind of voodoo is that? You've heard that run quite a bit, and basically I'm walking, I've got a 1.5 fret, but I'm walking all these half steps right down here in the middle. Now those of you without 1.5 frets are going, foul, no fair, but you can do it too. You can start a blues in B. Up here, get your walk down on, because the same configuration of half steps are right there for you. And just think about the scale. Think about a B scale, and think about what notes are there in the scale for you. So your 4th note, or your 4th chord, is going to be an E. Come back up to B. Back to E. Same form. F sharp is next, then E, back to B. So those are a couple of blues forms for you, and there are different things you can do. The best thing you could possibly do is listen to lots of good old blues music. I mean, go back to listening to like Robert Johnson, Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, some of the early stuff before it got really kind of like Brian Setzerized. No, nothing against Brian Setzer, but a lot of the blues has gotten so big and so bouncy and so jivey and so kind of rockabilly-ish that you lose the real essence of what the Delta blues is all about. Some blues don't even change chords. It just hangs out in one chord and bounces along. And something you can do when you're in the key of E, play around with your blues notes. Experiment with different bends and tremolos on those things, and the best way to do this is either to play along with the record or find somebody else to play the changes for you, and then you go ahead and you play around with the solo. So, thank you for joining me. I want you to go out there now. I want you to plant some turnips, some collard greens, and then come back inside with your feet all dirty like a pirate and play some blues. Until next time, this is Bing Futch saying mahalo. Nui loa.